You, as a tiny artist on Spotify, have access to tools to get your music found by new fans that you might not realize. Plus, you could be breaking some rules that could get your profile banned, or the very least have stream numbers deleted. So let's talk to Xavier over at Spotify to see how your music can get discovered by new fans.
There are billions of discoveries happening every month in our service, and over half of them come from our programming. That means it's the #1 way for you to get your music discovered. And what's really cool is that Spotify for Artists now lets you deliver unreleased music to the right editorial team for playlist consideration.
Hold on a second. Over 500 million new discoveries every month, and half of them are coming from their team. Did you also hear what he said? It was unreleased music. Not music that's already out there, but unreleased songs that you haven't pitched yet. That means that if a song is already released on Spotify and been streamed, that means you can't pitch it. But I always get asked this question, well, what's the workaround, Chris? Well, why don't you release a remix? Why don't you release a new version of the song with a feature? Why don't you do an acoustic version and then re-release that song so it's new, and then you get a chance to pitch it to their team? But what about payola and buying onto Spotify playlists?
You cannot buy your way onto a playlist.
This is Meg from Spotify.
No one can affect those decisions. There are thousands of playlists. Each playlist is made with the listener in mind.
If anyone offers you pay for play to get on a Spotify playlist, it's a scam. Got it.
This reminds me of one of my students who attended our Spotify 5-day challenge who said, I had 800,000 streams of my song, and then one day they were just all gone and I barely had any streams. And this is because she had bought a playlist promotion on some playlist-botted playlist, and Spotify scans for that kind of stuff. Like specifically in this video, we were talking about editorial playlists, which you cannot buy onto, but there's a lot of companies out there, and you'll see these different promotions. Hey, if you spend $50, you'll get this many streams, and you want to be very careful with that stuff. It's one thing to get on a curated to pitch your song, but it's another thing when they're promising streams, and you don't want that. You don't want fake fans. You don't want botted streams because it confuses the algorithm and it actually hurts you. And in the long run, we're not trying to fake it until we make it. We want real streams from real fans so Spotify can collect that data and go, oh, these are the type of people that are listening. Let's share it via our algorithm. But let's keep going.
The way you can end up on a Spotify playlist is to get us your music as early as possible. We're talking at most weeks out when your music is ready, or at a minimum 7 days. That's because we get over 20,000 songs a day. It's just a lot of music to listen to. It's just a lot. So the earlier you get us your music, the better your chances.
Now remember, when you upload your music to your DSP, which is your digital service provider like TuneCore, DistroKid, or CD Baby, it takes 24 to 72 hours before it even shows up in Spotify. And I'm talking about Spotify's dashboard where you pitch it. That's where the pitching tool is. So you schedule it a week out. Well, you need to add an extra 3 days at least before that week if you're cutting it that close, so that you have time to pitch it, and then it's in Spotify's dashboard, and then you do this.
So then once your music is delivered, but before it's released, you and your team have a chance to tag it so it can end up in the running for the playlist that's right for you.
Start by picking one track. Any tips?
There's no one right way to pick a track. Pick the one that you love. Pick a track that you would want millions of people singing at the same time.
So when Xavier's saying pick a track, he's assuming you've scheduled an EP or an album or a few songs. Because when you schedule a whole album and then it shows up in Spotify, you can only pitch one song at a time. You can't pitch multiple songs, but I actually don't encourage my students to release a whole album at once. I encourage them to choose singles off of their album and release a single, then another month or month and a half or 3 weeks, release another single, and then another one, and then you release the whole album. That way every song has gotten a chance at an editorial playlist.
We have playlists for every theme, music, moment, holiday, whatever. So having your tags right helps the editors find the right music for each one. It also helps the algorithms know where to send your tracks for those algorithmic playlists too.
Real talk, there's no guarantee you'll end up on an editorial playlist. But if you got your tags right and you submit early, your track has a better chance of getting picked up.
One thing is for sure, the algorithms are designed to automatically deliver your music to your followers the week it comes out.
Notice he said people that follow you will get notified about your track. And so that means people need to be following you on your Spotify profile so that they actually get notified. That's different than someone who streamed your track. People that have streamed your track and then didn't follow you are less likely to get notified, and how you contact them or let them know that you've got new music is probably with a Spotify marquee ad or with the Spotify ad, which I talk about at the end. I'll make a link to those videos as well. But you also want to make sure that you're pitching every single song. Don't give up when you don't get on an editorial playlist, and really focus on one genre.
And once you're on a playlist, don't sleep on sharing. Soul pop singer Amber Marks got that sharing down.
So when my tracks are featured on, any Spotify playlist, especially when it's a big one, I tend to go through social media. I'm huge on Instagram. The first time it was ever featured on a playlist, I was like, oh my God. On the phone calling literally everyone.
She's right. Make sure to get the word out about playlists you've been featured on.
Sharing is everything. The more you share your music, the better chances people have of hearing it. The more people hear it, the better chance you have of getting on a playlist, staying on a playlist, and making new fans.
That's dope.
Yeah, I think so. And you know what? If your music doesn't get playlisted on release day, pick your head up. Don't worry about it. It's just the beginning. Keep sharing your music.
He's not lying when it comes to getting your songs on editorial playlists, man. We didn't get any for a while, especially when I was releasing my new album and it was more in the metal genre. We released a song, it didn't get it, but then we released, I think it was the second or third one, finally got one. And then when Spotify's like, okay, this is how we classify this artist. They're either pop, they're rock, they're hip hop, whatever genre you are. And it was amazing. Then almost every single song I released after that got on Spotify editorial playlist. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that's going to happen to you. Obviously, the music has to be good. You got to do your pitch good, and we talk about that in other videos. But right now, I just want to show you right now where you actually pitch your song. I'm just going to share my screen really quickly, take a quick minute, and show you everything that we shared about in this video, because I don't want to leave you hanging. But do me a huge favor. Make sure you click like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video up to someone it can help. Let's go. So once you've scheduled your song with your distributor, like I said, in about 24 or 48 hours, it'll show up under music. You click upcoming. And just so you know, I'm at artist.spotify.com. I'm in my profile. And you can see I have this album coming out. And right here, it says pitch, playlist pitch. And so I click pitch a song. And look, already released. So it's not letting me pitch this song. Already released on this one and already released. But this song, I can pitch this song. So I just click it and then I click next and then I start filling out all the form and everything like that. And then I pitch my song. But this is where it all happens, is in the artist.spotify.com. Hope that was helpful. Make sure you hit like, comment, subscribe. And if you have a song that is already out and you want to know how you can trigger the algorithm so that Spotify promotes it even more automatically, you need to watch this video right here.